just think that God, like Tupac said, was a player. You know, and he built every day, you know, to suit his own purpose. And that's what players do. You know what I'm saying? They make sure everything suits their purpose. And I think that the alligators, the little animals they show on Geographic, National Geographic, all that has just, you know, the insects, everything has its own special characteristics.
I even say the way people think. You know, people think certain kind of ways, and other people capitalize on it. Other people don't. I mean, you just gotta look at all different ways of going about things.
Yeah, it's your culturation, how you culture. You know what I mean? You know, like I always tell black folks, you know, the reason why you are the way you are is because you were socially engineered to be that way. It was certain laws. You know, it was the one time when a black man couldn't even hit the same faucet, you know, that a white person. That's why black folks, as soon as they get some money, you know what I mean, some real money, they want to stay in the Holiday Inn. No more Motel 6 for me, because you've been deprived. You know, you've been deprived, you know, of beautiful restaurants, 5-star restaurants. Black folks in the 60s, we couldn't go to a 5-star restaurant. You know, we couldn't go to 5-star restaurants. We couldn't go to what we call nice places because it was for whites only. You know, we couldn't go to Benihana back then, even though it was supposed to be for Chinese people, ran by Chinese folk. We couldn't go to that type of environment back many, many years ago. So the reason why we act the way we act is because now we feel that we can do it.
Yeah, we like do it, ride.
But we do it in excess. We do too much of it. You know, and you know, we want to integrate into, you know, what we wasn't able to integrate in initially. And the process of that, we lose our own selves, we lose our own business. Our business suffer because we won't go to Willie Earl's Motel 6 anymore. You know, Willie Earl's hotel no more. You know, Willie Earl now, you know what I'm saying, he's forced to close his doors because he don't get any business because the local LaQuinta is taken. You know, we used to go to Sam's Barbecue. You don't go to Sam's Barbecue because they got JB Barbecue over there in the good neighborhood, you know, where all the businesses at, you know what I mean, in the suburbs, and, you know, their barbecue is supposed to be cleaner. You know what I'm saying? You know, I mean, their buildings are newer, so their barbecue tastes better. You know, man, come on, man. You know that barbecue in the hood is good. But, you know, they ain't gonna, you know, they're not gonna, you know, let you get away with that. They're not gonna let you sell that barbecue in the hood. They're gonna run you out of business. And like Dr. Claude Anderson said, you know, if you look at, you know, some of our communities, you know, they have built highways over all of the dominant African-American communities. So most businesses or most people that go through our neighborhoods, they're usually going over a bridge. And people don't understand why that was built that way. They didn't build that bridge because why have you ever been near a bridge where when you standing by the bridge, if you go straight, it's a highway, but then you look over the bridge, it's a whole nother highway, over the highway that's up under the bridge. That's because of the mentality of this country back in the 60s and the 70s. Those white folks did not want to go through the ghetto. So what they did was they built those bridges that went over that highway. The bridges could stretch anywhere from 20 to 30 miles. Some of them, you know, like especially in New Orleans, some of them bridges is 15, 20 miles long. You know, you go through like Dallas, if you go in Dallas and you go like 75, the whole 75 they built underground. You know, 75 north, 75 south is underground. You don't go through no neighborhoods. But if you look up, it's a whole nother neighborhood above you. Or sometimes they build it over. If you look down, it's a whole nother neighborhood below you. Because they wanted to cause destruction upon certain businesses in the African-American community. You know, they wanted to just, it's people, you know, that love black folks, but it's another group of people that hate black folks. Yeah. That do anything they can to make sure that black folks do not get ahead and do not make it and that black folks suffer. And it's real. And a lot of people say, well, where's your evidence? I just gave you the evidence. Why would they build bridges over our community? But you go through, have you ever went down Route 66 or Route 34 or Highway 89 that's not an interstate?
Yeah, and they slow down for the little small town and everything.
And the speed limit goes from 60 to 45 to 30, and now you're in a residential community. So if you want a soda, all you gotta do is pull over and go get you a soda. If you want a hot dog, they got a little hot dog stand. They got the little mechanic there. Not one bridge that you had to go over those communities. All those communities are still thriving, and some of them communities were built in the 1800s. But you go to any community where black folks was forced to live, and particularly in the ghettos, after the Civil War, most of those communities have bridges going over. So we got to, just understand, that it's a real game, man. And like my man always says, real live monopoly. You know what I'm saying? In a monopoly game, everybody get the same amount of money, as Dr. Clark Atkinson would say. He said, if you land on somebody's property, you either pay them, or if you ain't got enough money, you go there. Or everybody got money except for us. If you ain't got no money, then how you gonna play the game of Monopoly? Because the game of Monopoly is to try to monopolize the board and get as much property and get as much money as you can, and that's who wins. But everybody starts with the same amount of money, so if you don't have the same amount of money at the beginning of the game, what's gonna happen to you? You're gonna lose every time. You know what I'm saying? And that's what happens with us, man. As Dr. Anderson would say, we lose all the time because we don't have no money. We don't have an equal playing field. The playing field has not been leveled. You know what I'm saying? Actually, it's been shoveled. You know what I'm saying? We've been dug down deeper. We don't get the same opportunities other people get. We get less opportunity. We ain't the first hire, we the first fire and the last hire. You see what I'm saying? So when you add all these things up, you get the black community. And then you wonder why all these young men sell drugs. No man in his right mind who got a beautiful woman at home, that got some of that good loving, some of that good food, wanna go home and not be able to give her something, or not be able to show her something. Especially if you're in love with the coochie. Oh man, I can't go home. I got to go sell some drugs. I got to do something, man. I got to go get a good job. I got to do something. I cannot go home broke. I'm not trying to lose Bessie. So we end up selling drugs. We end up on dumb shit. And we end up in the prison. In the African American community, I guarantee you, if they listen and they tell the truth, most of them, if they had 10 niggas, 5 of them have been to jail. If they had 10 niggas in the last 10 years, 5 of them have been out of the penitentiary. I guarantee you, if they real with it. If they ain't been married and they grew up in a family where marriage was promoted, or they grew up in the church, where their mama, taught them good morals and principles. If they were just out there like the average young female in the African American community or in the ghetto, just to fend for themselves, they didn't probably make. And this one lady said, I keep making bad choices. I keep ending up with the same type of dude. I said, I'm gonna get a better dude. I said, I ain't gonna deal with these crazy dudes no more, but I end up with the same dude because you're in the same community. You're going to keep on ending up with a thug. Because soon as Ron gets an indictment, his cousin Tony is going to take his place. And he's going to go through the same thing. Then once Tony get locked up, Earl going to come take his place. So you messing with the same guy. They might look different. They might hustle different. Dude might been a preppy type hustle, who wear the little, the Oxford shirts or the polo shirts and the low fade, and moving that weight and trying to be low key. And then the other dude might be the one that coming down on 28s, smoking law, with the Draco and the stick in the car, Then, you might get the other one that try to, work a job like it's all good, and act like he ain't hustling, but got all the weed in the city. But all of them end up in jail, and she be like, wow, I keep running into the same type of guy because that you're in that community. And even the ones who don't show off, the ones that are smart enough to be low key, they get a kick out of people depending on them. Man, when you gonna get some more work in, dog? Man, when you gonna get them bricks back in? They like that. They like to hear that. They like to know that other little brothers, that's got them ounces and them 9 pieces and them halves, and some of them got the quarter ounces and the 8 balls, they like to know that these brothers, depending on me. And they get a kick out of that, and they want to be that man. Even though they low key, they smart enough to play low profile, or if it ain't their man, they get caught up in having 2 or 3 many girls. Some of these guys, they good at hiding their drug proceeds, and they good at hiding their drug activity, but they not good at, when it comes to women. So they take care of 5 or 6 women because they want the privilege of being able to sleep with a different woman every day, or a different woman, when they can, but at the same time, it costs. So you can't quit because your expenses is too high. If you quit, then how you gonna pay these, what I call pussy bills? If you can't pay them pussy bills, then then the girl ain't gonna want to be with you. If you can't take her out to Benihana, you can't take her out to the state joint Prime 12. If you can't, fly her to Miami or fly her to Hawaii, or fly her somewhere where she may think is cute, and take her shopping. Fly her to Atlanta, go to the Lenox Mall and buy some new Gucci or some new Louis. She ain't gonna want to deal with you. But you like that. So you keep selling drugs, and you are in prison too. And even though I had him, he was a clean cut dude. He was smart, you know. I ain't know, but he's still doing the same dumb shit. That's why these women keep ending up with the same type of men. You know, even one woman that don't like the drug dealers, that just like the dudes, you know, the roughnecks, and they always end up beating their ass. You know what I'm saying? And they be like, man, every dude I mess with, he just beat me up. You know, he beat me up. Well, it's a probability. That's what your mama went through. You might be choosing the same kind of men that your mama chose. You know, you might be choosing those wild, crazy dudes because your stepdad was wild and crazy. Your dad was crazy. You know, just because a guy go to work every day and he get dirty, he got oil over his clothes, he got a name patch to say Bill, don't mean that he won't beat your ass. You know what I'm saying? You know, I mean, what did he go through psychologically? You know, so a lot of us go through all kind of stuff, man. It be psychological issues we have, you know, that make us act the way we act. You feel me?
Too cool to come 24/7.